could have been live for 5 minutes.
Hey everybody, Vinny Sinisi here, out to lunch with a really good friend of mine and an entrepreneur and a congressional testifier guy. So, Jim Hallers.
Thanks, Vinny.
Jim, how many restaurants you got now?
I have 8 bars and restaurants.
Do you really?
Yes.
8?
8.
So you got tailgaters. You got, what, 3 or 4 of those?
4 tailgaters.
Holy crap, that's a lot of tailgating. And then you got Good Charlie's. What else you got?
Good Charlie's, Citizens Grill.
Yeah, they're right next to each other, right?
We're 6, right? They're on 1488 at Old Conroe Road. And then I have, I always call them 2 dive bars. So they're the neighborhood-friendly kind of places that you hang out at.
Where are those?
They're down on Louetta. One's at 249 in Louetta called the Thirsty Texan, and the other one's called Parrot Pub, which is on Louetta, right near Kirkendall. Parrot Pub was a bar I went into 25 years ago.
Really? You went in there and then you
bought
it?
I was in there as a customer and remembered it all this time. And when it became available, I actually, said, I know that place. Actually, they had changed the name of it. I put it back to the original name.
Was that your first place?
No. I didn't know. I mean, I was there as a customer. In the same way with the Thirsty Texan, it had been a Brewski's 10, 15 years ago.
Jeez.
And I had gone into it, just as a customer, as one may do. And then, years later, here you are, owning it.
So you drank a lot.
There was a time period.
We all did.
I will tell you this, when you get into the bar business originally, and just so you know, in 2009, when I opened my first place, it was the Tailgaters Pub and Grill. It was the very first one. I was only going to do 1 sports bar. That's it, just one on the side. I had a day job. I was in IT. I do technical work, and I did that for 25 years, and I thought I would be doing it forever, right? And I still do. We all use our computers every day, right? But I opened that first sports bar. And it was just going to be on the side, and I wanted to sell beer and watch sports, right? And I figured out pretty quickly that you need a kitchen in a sports bar, and you have to sell wings in a sports bar.
Everybody wants wings.
So then if you're going to sell wings, well, you're going to sell chicken fried steaks, because now I have fryers, and this is Texas, and I like chicken fried steak, and mashed potatoes and gravy, and I got to have fish and chips. And I like Cajun food, so we're going to have spicy boiled crawfish, and we're going to have Cajun items. And pretty soon, my kitchen menu grows, and really in that first 6 months to a year, what I learned was that you basically can serve anybody a cold beer, and that's okay, and even if you give it to them at a good price, that's okay. But if you give them cold beer and some great food, they come back.
And they'll stay.
And they come back day after day day after day after day. And today I sell more food than alcohol at all of my sports bars.
So people can bring their gun in.
Yeah, but yes, sir. That is correct. There are no 51% signs except in the bars that have very small kitchens.
So
no kitchens.
you got the one on 1488, right?
Right. There's a Tailgaters on 1488 next to the Home Depot, which we call it Tailgaters Magnolia or North Woodlands.
Egypt. It's in Egypt.
Right, but nobody knows where Egypt is, right? Well, they think it's a whole nother continent, right?
And then you got the one that you just opened on 105, right?
Correct.
Down by
Tailgaters Lake Conroe.
April Sound down that way?
Correct. It's across from Water Point Marina.
Right.
And that's been open now a little over a year.
And where's the other 2? Is that the one over there?
There's one. So you have the one we call Tailgaters Magnolia, the one on 1488, Tailgaters Lake Conroe on 105, Tailgaters Kirkendall on Kirkendall, but it's just south of Creekside. So you could call that Tailgaters South Woodlands.
That's right.
And it's a smaller neighborhood one. It doesn't have a pool table or darts because it's a smaller. And then there's a Tailgaters back on 242, which is where the original one was. Methodist Hospital.
By the hospital,
Yeah, Methodist Hospital actually paid us to terminate our lease, and they bulldozed the first one because they needed to build a driveway for their hospital.
God, I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I know where-
so the original Tailgaters was open from 2009 to 2015, and then we had an epic closing party, and everybody was sad. But then they literally brought in the wrecking crew, knocked it all down, and they put in their driveway, and that's their driveway to 242 now. And years later, so 2.5 years ago or so, I actually brought Tailgaters back to 242, and we're open just across the tracks.
Yeah.
And I completely gutted it, put it into an old building, but inside is new restrooms, new everything, but it has no kitchen. So it's just a Tailgaters bar. It was supposed to have a kitchen by now. It should have a kitchen. It has a spot for a kitchen, but I'm unable to get upgraded water and sewer in that location. So the city of Conroe was going to do it pre-pandemic for that landowner there, that shopping center. And now the city of Conroe doesn't give water to anybody anymore because of all their problems.
Really? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they kind of overextended
Vincent
on all that.
Santini and I talked
And they're working with an area mud to try and get water and sewer upgrades. But these days there's a lot of demands on systems. It's like get in line.
Well, the way the county's growing in that area on the east side now, they're getting ready to put the flyover, up
Correct.
there. That traffic there is ridiculous.
Actually will help me because once the flyover's there now, and mind you, this is TxDOT thinking. And we just had a chamber meeting where we had the TxDOT guy talking, but it was all softballs for him, right?
Sure.
When are you going to clean up that mess? Remember, that was a famous question. But basically, they're going to build the flyover from I-45 to 242 East, and it's going to be a parking lot because it's already a parking lot on 242 East every day from 3 p.m. on. So unless they widen 242 or do something to increase the flow of traffic going eastbound, which they're not doing, and they just keep building more neighborhoods down 242 because this is Texas and we're not stopping anybody from building neighborhoods. So it's a parking lot now. It's going to be a parking lot. Now the flyover just means it'll back up all the way onto I-45.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's actually better than backing up on the feeder down below, which is what's happening today.
I mean, backing up is an understatement.
I think you're going to see it backing up on the new flyover once it gets done, and on the feeder down below because there's that many cars. Everybody wants to go east, and there's no feeders.
I know.
Now they are building the road from Shenandoah north. They're actually going to finally get that open. It'll come out right by the tracks, the railroad tracks.
Okay.
That'll also be helpful because I'm just to the east of the track, so people can cut through the back way there.
I mean, if they're going to be in a parking lot, they might as well stop in and drink a beer or six.
I mean, Vinny, I was in a meeting 15 years ago, probably. The Justice of the Peaces, or JP, it was our county commissioner meeting here in Montgomery County, and they're like, and this was 15 years ago, and they're like, in 10 years we're projected to be a parking lot. Of people, traffic, gridlock. And I said, well, let's plan and build the roads, right? And they're like, you can't. I'm like, why not? And you're like, nobody gives us the money until after the people have arrived. So basically, you have to turn into a parking lot before you get the money to fix anything. And so then we're in parking hell, as everyone knows. I mean, and who would have thought? But guess what? They did think that many people were moving here. Yeah. So it would have been nice if we'd bought some right-of-ways, but they don't even get the permission to do that.
That's been going on. I've been here since 1980, and it's always been an issue. Mobility is the biggest problem in Montgomery County. We're going to have 1 million people here in the next probably 5 to 7 years, and we have 800,000 now, so it's growing like crazy.
I mean, when I opened the Tailgaters out here on 1488, the Egypt location, as you say, right? Right near 2978. The answer is my staff didn't even want to work out here. It was crickets. Research Forest didn't open through. You had to go down to the Woodlands Parkway to get into the back of the Woodlands. And, sales were low. We were out here. And, it's tough to be a bar when you're the only thing in the area, So either you're coming to my place or there's nothing. I mean, there were a few other little bars down the road, Casey's and things, but
your parking lot's packed every day.
Well,
now.
when, I think it's a great strategy. Tailgaters should just open by Home Depot all the time, right? Because I can't tell you how many guys are in there having lunch while they're at Home Depot.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's just a joke, but it's clearly that a lot of people stop in when they are just in the area. And we obviously, again, just like talking about that first location, when you open a place and give people a good meal for a reasonable price, they come back.
Well, here's what's really helped you a lot with your restaurants is TechStop putting the raised medians down the middle of 1480, and then they screwed you on the access for Good Charlie's, right? They took out that one entrance right there.
Well, yeah. So so basically Old Conroe Road is its own can of worms project, right? It was supposed to have been widened and a bridge put across, and it's going to hook the Sergeant Holcomb Boulevard up in the 336 loop, right by all that shopping and everything up there. It's going to be a fabulous road. Well, the project was supposed to be half funded by the county, and who was the other half of the funding?
The state.
Nope. City of Conroe. Guess what happens to City of Conroe?
Yeah.
They go broke, right? They have no money. So the project lingered for years, and they finally got it figured out, and now it is a state county, or they came up with some funds, right?
Yeah.
And they're doing it, but they're just now getting the right-of-ways bought. They've got to get the bridge built and get the back open before they can widen the road coming forward. It's another road, just like 242 East is a parking lot. Old Conroe Road is a parking lot because they keep building neighborhoods back in the back. And look, and probably when they planned some of these neighborhoods, they said, "Oh, a bridge is coming," right? It's
like, don't worry about it. Another year or two.
Right? Yeah, and so now we're looking at a bridge back there in probably 2028 or 9 opening, and then the widening. So maybe Old Conroe Road will get widened by 2030. So the good news is I have 2 restaurants right there, and if you live back there, why would you drive anywhere else when you can come right here, right? And we have a Mexican restaurant, and we have a great Thai barbecue restaurant there. My neighbors.
Yeah.
But it's like. So we have options there, but it's crazy if you live back there. And,
the challenges with having a restaurant, we had one for 30 years, so I understand the dilemmas. And one of the biggest challenges is streaming services, because people go in there and drink a beer and eat a chicken fried steak. They want to watch the World Cup, maybe, that's going on right now, or a football game during football season. You said... We got 2 seasons, crawfish season and football season in Texas. And so you got to appear in front of Congress. I mean,
I did.
In Congress. I mean, in Congress, where you see all those guys battling back and forth, right? And you really performed really well. I watched that. And they were like, you could see those guys like, what?
So what for all the listeners out there, what Vinny's talking about basically is the NFL 3 years ago created a new company in conjunction with some investment firms called Everpass. And they're going to be responsible for providing all of the out-of-market Sunday football games.
Yeah.
It's called Sunday Ticket. For 30 years, it's been on DirecTV. And kind of, if you're in football, Sunday Ticket, right? And as a consumer, you could buy Sunday Ticket. I think they used to sell it for $199 a year or maybe $299. I think it's up to like $400 now, even if you want it.
And you can watch any game.
And you can watch any game on Sunday that's out of market. Not any game. It's a really crazy thing, okay? So the NFL licensing, and they were granted an exemption from monopoly status back in the 60s, and that's how you end up in Congress. But basically, the NFL streams these out-of-market games and just on Sundays during the day. So at Sunday at noon, there's like 10 games. Sunday at 3:30, there's usually 4 games or so.
Right.
So as a sports bar operator, you want to be able to show the out-of-market games. That's the bread and butter of the fall business.
Sure.
Just like you said, crawfish season in the spring, football season in the fall. And basically, DirecTV's had it forever. 25,000 bars and restaurants in America have their DirecTV equipment. They've had it forever. It just works. And the NFL, through their company that they own a part of called Everpass, has announced this year that they're not going to distribute it any longer on DirecTV. So you must buy it through this company they created 3 years ago called EverPass, and it's a streaming-only solution, and it suffers from all of the streaming problems that everybody else's consumer streaming does, with buffering and delays, things. When it's on DirecTV, it's near real time. You know, within a second or two, you're watching the game.
Yeah.
And when you're watching something streamed, you might be 5 seconds behind. You might be 15 seconds behind. But even when, as an operator with 50 TVs, if I buy multiple boxes and that box is showing the game and that box is showing the same game on the other side of the room, they might not be showing the same part of the game anymore because the streams can get out of sync. And the crazy thing is, if the game is now 10 seconds delayed through streaming, people have these apps on their phones now, right?
Yeah.
They're going to be hollering touchdown or interception 10 seconds before everybody in the place. And it's just, it's not cool.
That happens in my house. My wife will be watching the Astros in the other room, and she goes, "Oh, all right, great hit." I'm like, "He hadn't even thrown the pitch yet." And
it's just crazy. And so this company, EverPass, bills themselves as a technology company, and what makes it so frustrating is that they say they're a technology company. Well, last time I checked, Zoom calls, we don't have 10-second lag or latency, right? They're real time.
Right.
So the technology exists to stream the NFL games in real time or very near real time, right? Except that's not what they're providing. So they're providing, you know, the kind of streaming that you're talking about, where you're cheering in the other room, delayed and everything else. And so we don't understand, as bars and restaurants, we don't understand why we can't just still have it on DirecTV because it just works. Well, it turns out, my speculation would be they created this company 3 years ago. It's not making any money because nobody's using it because they didn't build a better product. They should have built a better product and we would all go buy it, right? And our argument is you need to keep putting it out on DirecTV while you improve your product, because we will absolutely use your boxes the moment you make them work as well as they should. Now, it turns out that they're steadfastly like, tough luck. Go buy the boxes. For a lot of bars and restaurants in America, they have to put in new wiring and new distribution systems to be able to show the game. So real sports bars like me, I'll go spend the 15, 20 grand a location to upgrade. You know, it's $70,000, $80,000 expense for me. With me doing some of the wiring, if I were a regular sports bar guy where you lived on some island somewhere, it'd be $120,000, right? Because you pay other people to do everything, but I'll be on the ladder running wires, you know? And
so
and
that's what you said in front of Congress, right?
So basically, it turned out that a lot of bar and restaurant operators around the country were complaining. They were complaining to their restaurant associations, their state groups and things, and it bubbled up to the National Restaurant Association. And the National Restaurant Association, you know, bugs Congress. And it turned out that constituents have been complaining to the representatives also about they can't watch their games and things and stuff's going on. Because even if you buy the Sunday ticket, let's say you're a Green Bay Packers fan, you buy the Sunday ticket.
I am a Green Bay Packers fan.
Right. So you pay this $400, you still don't get all the games.
Right.
Because it might be on Amazon on Thursday night, or it might be on Netflix on Christmas, or ESPN on Monday nights, or ABC on Sunday nights, whatever. They've divided up and fragmented where they send all these games. And so for a Packers fan now, you might spend $600-700 a year in subscriptions just to be sure you can see your game.
Yeah.
Well, the same frustration falls to us, the bar operators.
I mentioned to a couple of my colleagues, actually today even, that on Father's Day weekend, watching the Astros, SC, Space City, right? Now, DirecTV includes Space City, so you don't have to buy that subscription. Right. On Saturday, it was on Apple TV, right? Mm-hmm. And I have that too. And then on Sunday, it was on Peacock. And I'm like, I never watch Peacock, but I can't get the game. On Father's Day, I mean, how many people want to watch the Astros if you're in Houston on Father's Day? So you had to have 3 subscriptions just to
Right.
watch 3 games. And for a restaurant owner, that's a huge expense.
Yes, and just the frustration of having, because basically they need these things to just work. You know, you're busy serving lunch, or you're at Sunday noon, you got a big football crowds in. The managers, they just want to set the channel using their remote control, right?
Yeah.
They got bigger fish to fry. They got people to see. They got food to get out. They got everything else. But now they're like, well, go buy these streaming boxes. And so the National Restaurant Association was looking for someone to come testify to Congress, because it turns out Congress got interested in looking at this exemption they granted the NFL back in the 60s, because they're like, what other pressure can they apply on them, right? I mean, it's like, hey, knock, knock, you know, people are not happy out here. You should not be pissing them off, right?
Why did they choose you?
Well, so I've been a board member of the Texas Restaurant Association for 15 years, and I'm emeritus status today. I'm a former Montgomery County Restaurant Association president. But basically, I've just been involved in the Texas, helping out. And so when the National Restaurant Association was talking to Texas, literally Texas was like, well, we have a sports bar guy that, you know, is also technically inclined.
Yeah.
And that's hard to find, meaning they have a lot of people that are in the bar business, or, you know, sports bar business, but not everybody comes from 25 years of tech before that.
Yeah.
So I understand the technical problems and issues. And so the National Restaurant Association literally called and chatted with me on a Thursday, said, you're the guy. On a Friday, they had a writer help me with, they're like,
really?
Yeah, it's just so you know, when you have to go testify in Congress, I had no idea about any of this, right? I'm just like, they're like, hey, will you come to testify? And I'm thinking, like, I have actually testified here in Texas on some major bills in Texas. And this is, you know, when you get involved in a restaurant association, you think it's just to meet other restaurateurs, but really you learn after a few years, it's to, you know, basically every 2 years, and I love Texas because it's only every 2 years that you know, we get together
Right.
in Austin, and they taught me, and I learned this a long time ago. The job of everybody coming to Austin is to do nothing except pass a budget and pretty much kill 99% of all the bills that get introduced, because Texas operates pretty good if we just don't change things.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't fix what ain't broke. Yeah.
So you get all of these bills proposed. Most of them just need killed. Okay? So what's really interesting is how hard it is to get a bill through. So what I learned here in Texas is, if you'll go visit with your representatives and say, here's a real problem, here's a real solution, it makes complete sense, they'll often get it passed. It was like, oh my gosh. But a lot of bills come in that are like, that's crazy. That's crazier. That's craziest. And we, as an association, actually have people on staff whose job it is to go make sure those bills don't get passed. Because it's like, now that's like saying, well, your bill is better than my bill. No, it's like,
common sense.
Well, I call it common sense. It's like in Austin, the city of Austin banned plastic bags. This sounds very noble, right? Except they banned plastic bags for being used in takeout. And customers had to bring their own bags to pick up their food orders. These bags that they would bring are not clean.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
It was the craziest thing. You know, you're asking restaurant workers to take these bags from these people that they're bringing in and put their food in them. It was the kind of thing where we had to come along and say, let's pass a bill that says cities cannot, you know, do things that let's not make weird health rules. You know, let's have the same set of rules all across Texas. Just little things like that. But it's 100 things. Or it was like the year that hotels in Texas that had swim-up bars were getting sued. Why were they getting sued? Because in Texas, swim-up bars were illegal. It had been in the law for a long time. Some lawyers
Really?
found it and started suing people. I mean, when you go in and see the representative, hey, I'm not in that business, but do you think we should maybe allow, swim up bars in Texas because we have them? And it's crazy, but the law says they're not allowed.
That's crazy.
Well, it's crazy. Well, it's the same way with some tax bills, other things. So I'd had some practice testifying in Austin, maybe 2 times I've went up there and testified. And it's fascinating when you go testify at government, because in Austin, I would sit there and you're sitting there and before they call you, and some lobbyist, real lobbyist. Am I not a lobbyist too? No, I'm a small business owner just here to tell you what my problem is. So they're up here tearing apart a lobbyist going, we're not going to help you with that. You make enough money. Your industry already, blah, 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 blah. And then I get up there and I'm just like, hey guys, we've got some real problems. Here's the deal. Here's the situation. And we think you could really help us by doing X, Y, or Z. So, and then a bill, well, they're like, that makes sense. And they're like, thank you for coming up here and explaining it, and you're like, so
well,
so going to Washington,
right.
I'm thinking, when they ask me, I'm like, yeah, I'll go up there and do this. And they're like, well, so I say yes. And the next day they're like, well, we're getting you a writer to help you write I'm like, written testimony. They're like, yeah, you have to submit your testimony. and so then I basically, were the writer, I tell them the whole story, and they give you a first draft and it doesn't sound like you and this and that. So I spend all weekend fixing it so it sounds right. And I give it to them and they're like, okay, now you have to actually do. So on Monday, I turned it in, my written testimony.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, you're going to have 5 minutes to give oral testimony, and your testimony is about 10 minutes long. So you need to make a version that's 5 minutes long. Now, it's a Monday, right? And I fly to D.C. on it the next day. So literally, remember, they called me on Thursday. I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
Friday and over the weekend, I write this stuff. Now I got to write this oral testimony. So
they write it for
I
you.
spend Monday night condensing down my written testimony to a 5-minute hit the highlight reel, right? But the written testimony, if you go read the congressional record, has more details and information. And
well, I thought you performed really well.
No, I did it because I made sure it was me, and you made sure the problems are there, and what
was the response? I mean,
well, look, when I testified up there, because people were like, "Are you nervous?" and I was like, "No, because I'm mad and I'm the good guy."
Yeah,
this
is what it is.
This is what it is, and I hope that came across. When you watched it, and it's like people are like, you've got to be nervous. I'm like, no, I'm here to get the point across. And so I did it. So the whole hearing was like 2.5 hours. You read your 5 minutes. There were 3 other people giving testimony. Everybody did their 5-minute pieces. And then the representatives up there ask you questions.
Yeah.
Judiciary Committee questions. And, you're testifying under oath and this and that. And the questions that got asked of me, they warned me, they might be political ones that, don't you think this is all such and such's fault? You can imagine who they're going to tell you. But nobody did that to me. They did it maybe to the commissioner at the other end of the thing. But it was basically, you're just sitting there going, it's a real problem. What are you going to do? And so our hope, the whole reason I went up there is to say, guys, just keep distributing it on DirecTV. It's a system. We all have it. And here's the deal. It's not like we're going to take our DirecTV stuff out, throw it away, and switch to you, because you're just a solution for this. We still have to have the DirecTV for baseball, basketball, all the other stuff that they have all the sports programming and everything else commercially.
So you think they're going to do anything?
We're making a lot of noise, and that's, I guess, that's what they would call it. But restaurant associations around the country are continuing to scream bloody murder. Think about I've even heard casinos are really upset, and you might say casinos, and it's casinos and betting operations, because casinos distribute the same. They don't have some magic connection to the football game, right? They use the DirecTV feeds too, right? Well, they need to show games in real time. On their screens, okay? Because they have betting operations and they have all of this stuff. and they're really upset that it's going to have a 5 or 10 second or variable feed delay, things like that.
You can make a bet in 5 seconds.
So yeah, and there's those bet on the next play companies and
That's
all those
right.
kind of things. And there were some casinos who were like saying, well, we're just not going to show the out of market, the non-broadcast games, because it would be better to not show them or let people use their own devices so they're real time or whatever they're going to do, or listen to a game so they can get a real time feed rather than show it delayed and screw things up.
Yeah. And it costs you 20, 30,000 per.
Oh, so here's the thing. The commercial service, because people are like, it's just like a UFC fight. You know, now you can get on Paramount Plus. They're like, hey, show the fight. And I'm like, you can subscribe for $20 a month. At a commercial venue, they charge based on your occupancy. So that UFC fight cost me $2,000 to show you. So per fight, you know?
Yeah.
Because they're like, well, if you can put 100 people in here, you ought to pay us at least, you know,
right,
X dollars a head. And it doesn't, the math doesn't math very good on that, by the way. But so for Sunday Ticket, for a typical one of my locations that has a certain occupancy, I'm paying them like $14,000 a year just for the Sunday Ticket programming.
Jesus.
So just for those 12 Sundays of out of market games.
Yeah.
I wasn't up there at Congress complaining about paying the $12,000. Now, mind you, we whine because the price goes up every year. You know, it used to be $8,000, it used to be $9,000, it used to be $10,000. I mean, over the years, it just keeps going up. But we have to pay. And so what's happening is my smaller bars. Remember, I have some smaller bars. We don't buy the Sunday Ticket anymore because there's no economically viable way to do it.
Yeah, no.
Even in a small bar, they're wanting $5,000 or $6,000.
God.
That's like $500 a weekend. And I got 30 or 40 people sitting around here. They mostly want the broadcast game, you know. So we just become a Texans bar, showing whatever other game. And we're just like, you want the other games? You got to go to the tailgaters. You got to go to the sports bar that's going to really spend the money to show it. And it's crazy. I mean, because they think, oh, you're making all kinds of money on it. I said, I make way more money in crawfish season than I do football season.
Yeah.
And why is that? Because crawfish is not very profitable, but you get a lot of table turns. People love it. But you come, you sit down, you eat for an hour, you leave. You sit down for an hour, you leave, right?
You're not staying there for
Football,
3 hours.
you come in at a noon seating and you sit for 3 hours. You're only going to sell them food once.
And then the next game comes on and like, hey,
at
let's
3:30,
just stay and watch the next game.
And they can either stay for that or you might get a 3:30 seating. But then the 3:30 games, there's only a couple. 2 of them are on broadcast. You know, 2 or 3 are on the other. And so football season in the fall has always been more of a break-in time of year for sports bars. You're like, oh, it's football. No. Playoff football makes lots of money. So end the season excitement. But September, October, November. September is traditionally the slowest month of the year for restaurants. And so football season starting gives a little excitement in the sports bar business. And it's really, staff makes their tips. You know, they're excited about the Sunday games, you know. But it's noon seating, 3:30 seating. The Sunday night game, usually people aren't even that excited about unless it just happens to be a good one.
Yeah. So how can the general public help? Is there anything we can do to?
I mean,
you said go to your representatives. But...
At this point, you know, all we can do. Well, we all need to just be mad that they're fracturing the whole thing, right? I think, as for consumers, I think the NFL should sell a thing where buy your team $99 a year, and they package all of your games into one app for you.
Yeah.
You know, now it turns out that the broadcast markets don't want that, you know, like your home markets, because they don't want to compete, you know.
Yeah.
That's how they get their advertising on Sunday. So if you live in Green Bay, you can't have it in an app. But for everybody else, it sure would be nice if they do it. You know, get the Amazon game in the app, get the Netflix game in the app, get the whole season in the app. That's what consumers want. But really, all we can do is whine and make noise. But here's what's happening. A lot of bars and restaurants around the country are just not going to show Sunday Ticket this year. And I hope it causes an uproar. Yeah. You know, now in the meantime, I'll have bought my streaming boxes. But you know what? If they decide that they're still crap and everybody complains enough, they could still put it back on DirecTV. We could switch. You know,
Like that.
the NFL, and EverPass is still getting their money. You got to understand, EverPass was given the rights to the games, and EverPass licensed them to DirecTV. So they're just having to give DirecTV a cut, right? I
Yeah.
mean, that's clearly what's going on
Sure,
here.
sure.
And they'd rather not give DirecTV a cut, right? Have us go direct. But just give them a cut. Let us show it. We're paying a lot already. I even sat there and said, well, you're charging me $14,000. Charge me $15,000 and keep it on DirecTV, please.
Yeah.
Because why are you going to make me go spend $70,000 to fix something that isn't broken?
Yeah.
It's crazy. So you end up going to Congress, and then a week later, I go to Denver to participate in a streaming conference where EverPass is there too, and other things. And I served on a panel, and I'm in this big Gaylord Denver thing right outside of the airport there in Denver.
Yeah.
And they have this huge multi-level sports bar, right? And I'm in there, and right before I go on the panel, I'm stopping in and I'm chatting with the managers there, and I said, so what are you guys doing for football this fall? You got your new boxes? And they're like, what new boxes? I said, well, you only got, 45 days or 60 days, whatever it was at the time. And I said, you got to have new boxes this year. They're like, we have DirecTV. And I said, that's not happening anymore in the fall. And they're like, what are you talking about?
Really?
Well, this is going to replay many times over. And they're like, well, we're owned by Marriott or whoever owns, those Gaylords. I'm sure they have a solution. And I said, well, they're like everybody else. They're waiting to see what happens.
Mm.
But it's a big mess because everybody's designed their infrastructure to work one way, and to bring these boxes in and to hook them up and to get them distributed.
Yeah.
And again, on Sunday, your priority in a restaurant, you don't have network engineers working in your restaurants.
Yeah.
There's not somebody there, let's switch over to all these boxes.
Yeah.
Let's get it right. How are we going to do it? Because people are like, well, just buy one of these boxes for all your TVs. It doesn't work in a commercial establishment like mine where I have to put the game on 4 or 5 TVs. I can't do it because they're now streaming boxes. So I can't have 50 streaming boxes. There's not enough internet for that.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, the TV on that side of the room and that side of the room wouldn't sync up. So instead, you have to get 8 boxes. You have to run new wiring from those 8 boxes to all 50 TVs. And on Sunday, we have to go to the TVs and switch them from HDMI 1, DirecTV, to HDMI 2, times 50 TVs around the room, okay? And then at 3:30, or if I need to switch back to NASCAR, let's go switch those TVs back to HDMI 1.
A full-time IT guy to do all that.
You see this problem that's going on. It's crazy. And then in some of my places where I have DirecTV boxes behind all the TVs, there's no goods. It's like I have to buy all this new wiring and stuff to make it come out and work. I mean, we've probably bored people with how this works, but basically half of the bars and restaurants in America that I talk to are like, we're not showing the out-of-market football games this year. We're like, screw the NFL. They've made it too hard for us to do it. We're not going to fix it. We're just going to show the broadcast games and the Monday games, and because they've already got
billions
the
of
Mondays,
dollars
the
in
Thursdays
revenue
and stuff.
for those guys.
But yeah, it's a huge problem.
Yeah.
And people are just mad, and so they're just like, we're not going to show it. So if you are watching this and you're in, some small market USA, your local place may have said, screw it. It's not enough money. It's not enough money, whatever. We're just going to watch the home team or whatever our local, whatever's on broadcast.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the end of it. And so it's a real problem.
So you and I are on the board at the chamber in Magnolia.
Southwest Montgomery County Chamber of Commerce. Yes, sir.
You got a nice little plug in for those guys. And we love those guys. I've been a member for 20 years. And so you have a really cool event that you started 3 years ago. This will be the 3rd year for Taste This, Try That.
Taste This, Try That.
And so tell everybody, how that works.
Well, basically every fall, end of summer.
Yeah.
Right before school goes back in, we just host an event at the Magnolia Event Center where we get as many restaurants jammed into the room as possible, giving out samples of their food, have other vendors in their business services giving out, freebies, things like that. And we sell, it's kind of like you come in, you get to taste, you get to hang out, and we sell the tickets. I think they're $35,
yeah,
$35. It depends if you buy them in advance or at the door.
yeah.
And this year it's on Monday, August 31st. It usually starts around 5 p.m., runs to about 7:30 p.m. It's great to come out and support all of the Southwest Montgomery County restaurants that we can jam in there and get.
The first year, 2 years ago, this will be the third year.
Mhm.
We were amazed at the response and the people that wanted to be part of it. And then last year, it blew up even more. Are we gonna have enough room in the?
I am hoping we can fill it up. Like we said, we'll move things around. We'll make the aisles narrower if we have to. But I'm hoping we have a great turnout. It's so many people are looking for things to do with their kids or just to come out, and it's a great thing to do. Especially now this year, it's on a Monday night. Won't get in the way of your Friday night. We do like it on a slower night of the week because one of the problems with these taste kind of events is with all the restaurants, some other events around the county are held on nights that are busier for restaurants.
Sure.
And they're like, hey, why are you taking business out of our restaurant and sending it over here?
Yeah.
But it's, because ultimately, in the end of the day, the event exists to promote the restaurants of Southwest Montgomery County. We're trying to help our restaurants be successful. We actually have the event in August because remember, what is September? The slowest month of the year.
Right.
So a lot of the restaurants there, we're encouraging them to hand out coupons, or we have a coupon book that, when you buy your ticket, you'll get the book and it has offers for all the restaurants.
Coupons, like discounts.
Yeah, like a buy one entree, get one free, or get $10 off. So not only can you come out to the taste, try everything, and it's just fun to walk around, eat, and drink, but then you have a bunch of coupons to use all September. Because if you're having to pay for back to school or anything else, you need all the help you can get.
Do you have, besides restaurants, don't we have some other vendors that come in there, or is that like nail salons and hairstylists and
right, and
roofing
florists and different things. So there are, and that's why we even named the event "Taste This, Try That," because we wanted you to be able to try our area businesses out.
Yeah.
I remember one popular one in the last year or two. Of course, we've only been doing it 2 years, but was a florist came in and she was letting everybody making a little miniature arrangement.
Yeah.
People were in line to make their little floral arrangement. And
face painting.
So for me, we put Good Charlie, Citizens Grill, and Tailgaters there. All three are lined up, and we're like at for Good Charlie's, I make sure we always make samples of our key lime pie because it's amazingly good.
Get in line early because it runs out quick.
Cindy Shea, we've never ran out of key lime pie. We make a bunch of them. But we make them in, they're bites. They're the little bites. And that's the whole idea behind the show. You want to go have a bite from 20 different restaurants. You'll leave full. And if you're not, you just go make another round. Just go through again. But, and you have fun, and it's a great way to support the community.
Okay, so to find out more information about it, is there a tastethistrythat.com website, or do we go to South Montgomery County?
Google Taste This, Try That.
Okay.
That's the sure way to do it. There is a tastethistrythat.com, and I'll make sure it goes and points to the right place this year.
Yeah. Because that would be great. People can Google it, get the information on when it is, and then do you have a list of all the vendors?
I know there's over 20 restaurants already signed up.
Golly.
So I'm not going to speak to say which ones for sure. I mean, I know there's some of the repeats,
But there's
the meeting place.
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a assortment.
The local. I mean, it's like Chick-fil-A was there last year. I mean. So it's from counter service to full service restaurants. We try to get everybody involved, and I'm hoping there's 30 restaurants there this year, right?
It's been a great success. I mean, you've done a great job on that. So
you gonna come out and eat this year?
No, I don't like food. You can tell. Yeah, it really is a great. Plus, you can bring your kids, and there's things for them to do too. Like I was starting to say that there's some face painting and making the little floral arrangements and
they definitely seem to entertain themselves just fine there.
yeah. So and everything from, seafood and tailgaters to Asian restaurants, pizzas, the meeting place, like you said, the barbecue. I mean, there's just,
Every restaurant category gets represented.
Absolutely.
And you will not leave hungry.
All right, so here's the magic question: you gonna do any more restaurants?
It's exciting times.
Are you just full of? Are you just a glutton for punishment?
So I opened my first sports bar in 2009. It's 2026, right?
Yeah.
Basically, I've been doing this for 17 years, and I counted the number of projects I've built or bought, and it's like 16. So I've actually built 16 bars or restaurants, or the equivalent of rescued them for anybody that watches Bar Rescue. It's that kind of thing. And you just, each year, something comes along that you can't resist and you get involved. So I always say, I'm not going to do anything, and then something will happen. But right now, it's a crazy time out there for people. And so even I'm like, should I do another one or not? And we'll have to watch the tea leaves.
How many more DirecTV boxes do you have to give up?
I'm like that. Well, and that's, all the economics of all of this stuff. Because, it would be another Tailgaters Pub and Grill if I do it this fall, and it would be more south, because I kind of got the lake, North Woodlands, South Woodlands. Then I'd probably do one just a little further south. I just broke a
scoop story. So I'll tell you what.
I've got a spot, and we've been eyeing it. And it's just a matter of whether we feel like the time is right.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a restaurant. We know what it's all about. I'll tell you what, the boudin balls, man. Those things.
So I should have brought some here for you to
sit
them on the table. What the heck? I forgot to bribe the host of the show with food.
Hey, right.
And it is called Out to Lunch.
Yeah, I mean, what the heck? Out to lunch. I'm a restaurant guy. So boudin balls, crawfish, you kick butt on that.
Crawfish is 6 months a year from December to June.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the year you can still get items with crawfish, tails and tail meat in it and things. But there is nothing like a good spicy boudin.
Yeah. And what's the big seller during football season? Is it burgers or
wings? Wings still rule. They've ruled. And I just went through a wing shortage that I didn't know I was going to go through. Can you believe that? FIFA caused a wing shortage in America.
Yeah.
There you go. Now, every year, Super Bowl usually causes a wing shortage.
Yeah.
But we know it, right?
Sure.
So we start to stock up. And we're part of the problem. Everybody knows to stock up on wings, right? And so, boom, there's a constriction in supply. Prices go up. But suddenly, 2 weeks ago, I was like, what do you mean I can't get enough wings? The swing suppliers are like, and I'm like, FIFA, we should have planned for this.
Oopsies. Another 4 years, you can figure it out.
And so we switched. I mean, we had to switch to like some jumbo wings and things like that. But they're just,
I grew up in, just outside of Buffalo. So Buffalo wings were invented.
Buffalo wings were invented, indeed.
So what's for the future, other than a new restaurant that's on the edge of fruition?
I don't know. It's after doing this 17 years, you basically say, is 8 enough? 8 is enough? Wasn't there a show with that name or something like that? 8 is enough?
I got you.
Something like that. I don't know. We'll see. I'm very much a serial entrepreneur my whole life. So that's,
That's why we have you on here, because
you kind of get going and
if you
find something else to do.
Yeah, if you run your own business, I mean, that's what America's all about. So,
but at 60, I'm 63 years old now.
Are you?
And it's like,
wow.
And you like, it's work, Vinny. It's work.
Yeah, I know.
So each new restaurant we open is when I'm constructing them, like the Lake Conroe project. I mean, it just takes a whole year of your life to be. I act as the general contractor. You know, it's
Yeah. You
the
got your hands
whole
in
the whole
it.
measures.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
And then you have to have
you're
good
hands-on.
people that run your other places. That's the
Exactly.
key. So
Actually, for any restaurant out there, you're only as good as the people you can get to work for you, you know, and with you
yes.
on these projects. And I've been lucky enough to accumulate over the years a really good team. I have probably over 20 people that have been with me over 10 years. You know, that core.
That says
You know,
a lot.
in the restaurant business, we're all about flexibility. If you're a server that needs flexibility, you know, maybe you're going to school, maybe you're in between something in life, you can come in and be a server for a few years and go, right? And then there's some people that they're just with you their whole life, and
Yeah.
you grow up with them, and that's how it is. And I have a server. I mean, she's probably started out with me when she was 19 or so, you know, and we just laugh because she's like 35, 36 years
Yeah.
old. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody grows up. Well, we're just all growing up. I mean, I'm old.
It's a family deal.
I got gray, you know,
Yeah.
this and that, and it's the same
So-
way.
So is there a tailgaters.com?
Tailgaterspub.com.
Tailgaterspub.com.
And it's like the alligator, TAILGATORS.
ORS.
PUB.com.
Yep. Gay door. And will they, on that website, they'll see your 4 tailgaters. Can they also access the dive bars?
Not from the tailgater side. I actually don't cross promote the brands the way I should, but the Thirsty Texan is out there. You can Google that. Parrot Pub, you can Google that.
Okay.
Citizens Grill, it is citizensgrill.com, or you can just Google Citizens Grill.
And then
Good Charlie's, same way, goodcharlies.com, or you can Google that.
Never had a bad meal at any of these places, so go over
Good
there.
Charlie. Good. We didn't talk about it, but the whole reason Good Charlie's exists because I personally wanted good char-grilled oysters, and I was driving. I can tell you where the other I would drive to Pier 6, okay, which is a 2-hour drive in the wrong direction, or I would drive to Louisiana to get good char-grilled oysters, and I wanted them, you know, Louisiana. I wanted them the right way. And so that when a space near one of my other restaurants became available, I just said, you know what, we're going to do a seafood restaurant. And it took me a year or so to working on the menu to figure it out. But now that we're in our 3rd year, we are doing better than ever. I mean, the reputation continues to blow up.
They say that they're
and maybe it's the 7-day-a-week happy hour from 2 to 6. I don't know. I have oyster happy hour 7 days a week.
Yeah, they say that oysters are an aphrodisiac, but I had 12 of those one time, and only 11 of them worked. So, and I've been married 45 years.
You know, Vinny, thank you, sir. You're always a pleasure to hang out with, and you were very restrained today. This was
What?
Very restrained.
This is all about you, not
Oh
Vinny.
no!
Oh yeah. We'll talk about that off camera. We'll talk about all the other stuff. Hey, thanks for tuning in. If you want to be on the show, you can drop us a line at the email below that Justin puts up there, and go see one of these restaurants or all of these restaurants. And we're out to lunch. Peace out.